Welcome to the Bambulabs Exporter setup video. This is going to include the monitoring stack Grafana and Prometheus, along with the Bambulabs MQTT Go Exporter. Now, the first thing we're going to want to do here is open up a PowerShell window if you're on Windows, or Terminal if you're on any other system. The next step we're going to do is open up the actual GitHub page for the exporter. Now you're going to want to clone the repo. So if you click on code, you can click on this copy link here. You need to have Git installed if it's a Windows system, otherwise it should be installed if it's a Mac or Linux system. So we're going to go ahead and do a git clone, copy the repo down. We're going to go ahead and open up that directory and list the files. What we're going to do here is actually edit the environment variable file. So we can nano it, you can open it and edit it manually, whatever your editor of choice is, go ahead and open that. Now when you first download or clone that repo, it's going to probably be blank, so you're going to want to enter the IP of your printer. And then you're going to want to enter the password of the printer along with the MQTT topic. The password that you're going to use here is going to be derived from the printer itself, and then the MQTT topic needs to be pulled from a piece of software called MQTT Explorer. So you can go ahead and download MQTT Explorer and pause the video. Alright, now that you've downloaded MQTT Explorer, I'm going to go ahead and have you open up your printer interface on the device itself and pull the password from the printer. If you need to regenerate one, you can click the refresh icon as shown in the video before. Alright, now that we have that, we're going to go ahead and open up the program MQTT Explorer. What we're going to do with the Explorer here is put in the credential we got. So I'm going to enter mine here. And it's going to be important that you take note of enabling encryption, protocols MQTT, IP of your printer, TCP port is 8883, username is BBLP, which stands for Bambulabs Printer, I would assume, and connect. Now that we've connected, if you drill into the IP, the device topic, and then the actual, what I would assume to be a serial number of the printer, you can click on that, and that's going to tell you what you're going to use for your topic. If you click on report, it'll give you the full path. You can copy that to the clipboard and paste it into your file, or you can type it manually. So for right now, I'm just going to go ahead and type it in manually. This must be case sensitive, I believe. And if you have any issues, it will fail. So I'm going to go ahead and save it. Now what you're going to want to do is open up the monitoring folder. So I'm going to navigate into the monitoring folder. And we're going to run Docker Compose against the monitoring compose file. So at this point, you need to make sure that you have, you need to have Docker running. You need to have Docker Compose installed. And then we're going to pass that file. So to validate Docker is installed, we can do docker-v, docker compose-v. As long as you return a version for both, you're pretty much golden. So we're going to go ahead and run the command docker compose-f for file, pass it monitoring compose.yaml, up-d. The up will tell it to bring up all the containers under monitoring compose, and -d will make it detached. That means if you close your terminal, it's not going to completely bring the containers down. So go ahead and press enter. This is going to download the containers and actually spin up the instances. This might take a few minutes depending on the resources of your system and how long your containers take to download, etc. So as soon as this is online, the first thing that you can do is load up the metrics page. So if we go ahead and open up a new browser window here and load up localhost 9101/metrics, it should be coming online here, assuming that you've done everything correctly. But this might take a minute. On my end, it looks like all the containers started, so I'm just going to validate that they ran. And I see that I'm missing one of the containers, so I'm actually going to make sure that I typed everything correctly here. And it looks like my password didn't get keyed in, so I'm going to key that in one more time. Alright, I'm going to save that. And we're going to go back into the monitoring folder. Docker compose -f, monitoring compose YAML. Up -d. Alright, everything is brought up. So now let's go ahead and test it. Alright, we're successfully pulling metrics from the printer, which is fantastic. The next thing that we're going to want to do is check that Prometheus is up and running. So if we open a new tab and go to localhost 9090, here we can see Prometheus is up and running. We're going to go to status targets and validate that our targets are up. So this is basically saying that the data source that we're going to use for our dashboard is connected to our Bambulabs Docker container, and it's successfully scraping with an up status. This might take a few minutes the first time you run it. Now that we've validated that, let's go ahead and open up localhost 3000. The first time you load Grafana up, it may ask you for a username and password. That'll be admin. If you search for dashboards now, you should find Bambulabs here, so click on that. And now you should start to see data populating. This could take a few minutes depending on the resources of your system and how much disk utilization that you have for the device that you're on. Now granted, you're not going to have 12 hours of data when you first launch up. If you go to the last 5 minutes, you're likely going to start to see data start to populate, and it might look something more like this. You should have access to all of the data from the exporter, so you can build, redesign this as you wish, or you can take the files from the actual repo here in GitHub, and you can add that to your pre-existing Prometheus and Grafana stack. All of the data is available here, so you can actually drill in and pull out the dashboard and monitoring files from here. If you already have your own instance of Prometheus and Grafana, you could just run the Docker compose file here, and it will actually just spin up the container for the exporter itself. If you have any questions, just let me know.